So let's get started in easy pose or lotus. So find your comfortable position. Your rib cage is up, lifted out of the hips. Shoulders are lifted up out of the rib cage, but they're down and soft, rolling down your back. If your eyes are closed, they're soft. Jaw is slightly open so as not to clench. And your hands are in a nice, easy position on your legs. And begin to breathe more deeply. And on your inhale, your belly lifts and fills up. And on your exhale, the belly pushes the air out. On the inhale, the belly fills, then the lungs, and then the chest. And as you exhale, it exits the belly, then the lungs, and then the chest. So always belly, lungs, chest. That's the rotation on the inhale and the exhale. We're also looking for that Ujjayi sound. It sounds a little bit like this. Although your mouth is closed, so it might sound like this with your mouth closed. Good, so give that a try. Inhaling and exhaling. Good, and we're gonna do what's called the box breath. So if your eyes are open and you see me here, I'm holding up my yoga block. So we're gonna inhale for 4 counts, hold it for 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts, hold it for 4 counts. So 4, 4, 4, 4, like a box. So just close your eyes. I'll lead you through it. Exhale everything out. So inhaling for 4, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Try a couple rounds on your own. Good. And for these final breaths, you can eliminate the hold. You no longer have to do hold 4, inhale 4, out 4. Just find what's easy and even. You want the inhale and the exhale to be the same. So whether that's 6 and 6 or 8 and 8, find whatever works for you. Great. So go ahead and come to standing in mountain pose or Tadasana. Check that the weight is evenly distributed between your toes and your heels and from side to side. Shoulders are down and rolled back, chest lifted. Your view is slightly lifted as well. Nice, comfortable pose, but very active. And inhale those arms, sweep overhead. Exhale. Inhale, raise up on your toes. Ooh, feel the toes cracking. Squeezing the glutes to help with your balance. Find something right in front of you that's not moving to help you balance. Shoulders come down if they've crept up. Squeeze in those heels to help balance. Nice. Ooh. Now on your exhale, bring those hands in prayer position. Sweep them down to the floor into your first forward fold. Nice. Go ahead and bend the legs. Tummy rests on the thighs. If you can see me, I'm pretty bent right now because it's early in class. My hamstrings are just a little tight. Crown to the floor. On your inhale, rolling back up, articulating one spine at a time. Taking your time, arms sweep overhead. And this time you're going to turn on your exhale to the side and your arms are going to open up. But what you really want to focus on here is using those abs to pull. flattening the abs here, not crunching them in, but rather flattening them out, engaging all the way out to the external and internal obliques. Inhaling, arms come to center, other side, using the abs to twist the body. Arms come up on the inhale, and come back in just a little bit of a lunge, nothing big here, really more just to ground your balance. We're going to do the same thing, arms come to the side, using those abs to twist. Inhaling, switching sides, twisting with the abs. Arms come up on the inhale, and you'll switch your feet. Opening first. Inhale, rotating the other way, using the abs to turn that spine. You should really feel it, both sides of the abs working and engaged here. If you pinch them, you should feel them tight. That's what we want. Flattening out the abs here. That's what you want throughout your class and your poses. Awesome. Arms come back. Inhaling overhead, sweeping down again into forward fold. Maybe it feels a little bit better now. You can move your feet around in your hips. Nice. Step back with one leg, doesn't matter which one. Other leg comes to meet it into plank. You just roll down onto those feet. The first thing we'll do is sit back. Actually, I'm going to sit on my toes here. This is a really great toe stretch. I'm sitting on my heels in order to stretch out the foot. And I'm going to cross my arms behind my back for a first shoulder stretch. I'll turn around and show you what it looks like here. Pretty simple. First shoulder stretch. Just check that your pelvis is tilted under slightly as you sit back on those heels. Good. And come on down into child's pose. First child's pose. Hands are pushing your weight back towards your sits bones. Eventually your sits bones will touch your heels. If not, just hold it up here, but pushing, pushing, pushing with the arms back. Forehead touches the ground. Roll forward onto all hands and knees, all fours. We'll stretch out the wrists. So I'll start by rotating my hands outwards so my pinkies are on the inside, and then the palms of my hands are on the ground. Stretch out those wrists. You can stay up on all fours, or you can even sit back on your heels again like we were if that feels better to you. And then flipping the hands so that the tops of the hands are on the mat and the thumbs are on the inside. Sit back one more time on those heels. I'm doing the toe stretch again. We're going to reach behind our back, grabbing your hands in the back for a gentle shoulder stretch. This one actually is a little more intense than the first one. If you find that you can't clasp your hands, you can still open up the shoulders and just push them back together. So opening up the front of the shoulders and the chest. Good. Unfold the feet so the tops of the feet are on the floor. Arms come forward. You're going to slightly lift about 2 inches off the floor, keeping that pelvis slightly tucked. You should feel an immediate engagement of the thighs. So just hold it here. Open that hand out to one side and do that same abdominal twist we started with. Inhaling back to center. Exhale, other side. Stay low. Keep the quads engaged. I know you feel it. Inhale, hands back to center, and take a quick rest. Whew. Hopefully you're building a little bit of heat there. We're going to do it one more time. So on your inhale, arms lift straight in front of you. Tuck the pelvis. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, behind your head, lift. Woo, feel it in. Inhale, up over your head in prayer position, looking up. Drop down just a little bit if you crept up. Exhale all the way back down to the mat. Oh, nice job. Back to all fours. We'll do our cat-cow sequence. Rather, cow is when your belly drops down in a bit of an arch, drops to the floor, and your head and your tailbone lift. And then that would be your inhale. And on your exhale, pushing into cat, where you round out the back, drop the crown of the head towards the floor. And you're pushing with your shoulders away from the floor with your hands into that cat position. Inhaling back into cow. Exhaling into cat. And just do a couple of these on your own breath, your own cycle. Inhaling and exhaling. And maybe you even add a bit of a twist, side to side here. Whatever feels good, really, again, just to work out and articulate the spine a little bit. Awesome. So back to center, neutral position. One quick note about the shoulders that we'll talk about a lot during class. You may have noticed in cat or in cow, we come down. In cat, we're way lifted and pushed away. And then we have what's called just kind of neutral. Most of the time in yoga, we're extended through the shoulders. So I'll remind you to do this extension a couple times through class. So play with that here, almost like doing push-ups with your shoulders. Just make sure you've got that feel. Okay, from here, you're going to lift one hand, one arm forward, opposite leg comes back. And on your inhale, you lift up, almost like you were doing in cow. On your exhale, you pull elbow to knee, rounding out the back. Inhaling, lift. Exhale, pull together. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pull together. Inhale, lift. Stay here, or you can take it to the next level by rotating over the side, and my hand grabs that foot. And here we go. I'm pushing through the shoulder rather than letting it collapse. Pushing, and I'm holding in those abs like we practiced early in. Tiger pose. Inhaling and exhaling here. I know it's difficult. On your exhale, bringing that hand back down to the ground, keeping the leg lifted. Bring it out to the side. Hold it here. Feel those glutes engaged. Maybe lift an arm and one leg. Body's kind of shaking. Woo. Exhale down to the mat.
Other side.
Okay, from here, you're going to lift one hand, one arm forward. Opposite leg comes back. And on your inhale, you lift up, almost like you were doing in cow. On your exhale, you pull elbow to knee, rounding out the back. Inhaling, lift. Exhale, pull together. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pull together. Inhale, lift. Stay here, or you can take it to the next level by rotating over the side, and my hand grabs that foot. Tiger pose. Inhaling and exhaling here. On your exhale, bringing that hand back down to the ground, keeping the leg lifted. Bring it out to the side. Hold it here. Feel those glutes engaged. Maybe lift an arm and one leg. Body's kind of shaking. Exhale down to the mat. Take a quick child's pose. Rest here. And we're actually going to slide on down into locust pose. So come down to your belly. Locust pose. Hands come down by your sides. Exhale everything out. On your inhale, engage the whole body on the posterior side, lifting. Legs are squeezing, glutes engaged. Arms are back down. Your shoulders are down your back. Nice neutral head position. On the inhale, the body rises. On the exhale, it falls a bit, but stay engaged and stay lifted. One more inhale. Exhale down to the mat. Whew. From here, forearms come in front of you and slightly push up and lift that back. Nice little stretch here. Curl the toes under and lift into plank, forearm plank. And hold it here. I'm engaging the glutes even as I'm up. Abs obviously are engaged. And I'm pushing away from those shoulders so that I'm not collapsing. And then push back into kind of a mini down dog. You might have to adjust your feet just a little bit. So feel that down dog, lifting with your tailbone up to the sky. And then do a few push-ups here. And what I mean by push-up is you just roll from plank to down dog. Plank to down dog. Good. Nice. Last one, hold it back in down dog. And come back down to all fours. Good. So this time you're in all fours in tabletop. You're going to begin to bend your arms such that your elbows touch your rib cage. So I'm only going a couple inches down right now, but the focus is getting my elbows closer and closer to my sides. So sometimes it helps to show you what you don't want to do. We don't want to do our push-ups out like this. We really want the push-up where the arms are embracing the side body. Okay? And eventually you want to get to about a 90-degree angle here. Good. That's what we're going for. So do your last push-up here and come on down to your belly. Now your hands are probably well placed for Cobra. They should be by your side. You'll know they're in the right spot when you roll them back by your rib cage and the palm of the hand starts to lift. So exhale everything out, my head is forward. On your inhale, engage the glutes and lift just the upper body. So legs stay on the ground for low Cobra. So if I lift my hands, my upper body stays lifted. Exhale down to the mat, good. Prepare again, this time for up dog. With up dog, you're going to lift the entire body off of the mat. So back into position. Exhale everything out. On the inhale, you pass through low Cobra and continue to push all the way up into up dog. Again, shoulders are extended, if you can see that. Glutes are engaged to take the pressure off the lower back. Nice. On the exhale, come down into tabletop. Flip those toes under and we're going to push back into our first down dog. Fully extended down dog. Again, I'm pushing away from the floor with my palms. Weight is going back towards the heels. Think about putting your chest towards your thighs. Crown of the head facing the mat. Pedal out your feet. Come back into tabletop by rolling over the toes. We'll take a half push-up on all fours. And from here, you go right into Cobra or right into up dog. Good. This time pushing back into down dog. You can pass through tabletop or go straight into down dog. Rolling into plank. If you want to drop to your knees, you can. Otherwise, you roll to plank. We'll do a half push-up down to chaturanga. Arms embrace the side body, stopping halfway. On the inhale, Cobra or up dog. Exhale, back into down dog. Let's do that one more time. Rolling into plank. Exhaling into half push-up chaturanga. Inhaling into Cobra up dog. Exhaling into down dog. Very good. And from here, step one leg forward into low lunge. Other leg comes to meet it. Take a forward fold. On your inhale, articulate the spine, vertebra by vertebra, and come on up to mountain pose Tadasana. And just rest here for a moment. I'm going to grab a bit of water. Hope you guys are doing great. That's half of the sun salutation. Now we're going to do the first part of it so we can do the full Surya Namaskar or sun salutation. All right, so back into Tadasana. Arms sweep overhead. Lift on your exhale down to the mat into forward fold. Inhale, half lift, which means I'm up on my fingertips or even fingers on the shins, straightening the spine. This is a spine extension pose. Exhale down to forward fold. Inhale, step back up with your feet, back into plank. Hold your breath here, or retain it rather. And on the exhale, chaturanga, half push-up. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, same foot comes forward. Exhale, other foot meets it, down to forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, mountain pose. Wonderful. This time let's do the same sequence, stepping back with the other leg. Arms sweep overhead on the inhale. Maybe you take a slight back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, spinal extension. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back with the other leg meets it in plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog cobra. Glutes are engaged. Exhale, lifting with the hips back to down dog. Inhale, same foot comes forward. Exhale, other foot meets it, down to forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, this time down to chair. Try to rest here in chair. Take a quick peek, make sure that your knees are not over your toes. I can still see my toenails here. Also check on your spine, make sure that you're not tilting it upwards. You want to remove any arch you have in your spine. And just see if you can really sit into it. It's an active pose here. On your inhale, you lift slightly. On your exhale, go straight to that forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stepping back. Other leg meets it, into plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog cobra. Exhale, pushing back into down dog. Inhale, stepping forward. Exhale, other foot meets it, down to forward fold. Inhale, arms lift up overhead. Exhale, chair. One more time on the other side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stepping back with the other leg. Other leg meets it. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down. Inhale, foot steps into lunge. Exhale, other leg meets it. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms overhead. Almost there. Exhale it down into mountain. Awesome job, everybody. You made it. Hopefully you've really generated some heat in that body. You should be sweating a little bit, feeling a little bit of fatigue, heart rate rising. Good job. One quick note, I want to give you a quick tip here. Someone told me the other day, Leah, every time we do that lunge, I can't get my foot through. So I'm going to share a couple tips with you to make your sun salutations a little bit easier. So first of all, you can practice with me if you want, if you've regained your breath. Just lift those hips a little bit so that you can make some more space. And I'm really pushing through the shoulders to get a couple inches of clearance. Okay? So just practice that. Lift, make space. Alternatively, you can step to the side. I actually did this a lot when I was pregnant and you have an obstruction in the middle of your body there. Just step to the side. And then when you bring the other one to meet it, then you can kind of straighten out. What was the other trick? Eventually you can start to hop to center. The way that looks is when I'm in my down dog, I'm hopping. And but those are a couple of ways to get up to that forward fold position a little bit easier. Okay, so join me again at the top of your mat, back in Tadasana. We're going to go through our warrior and lunge series. So step back with one leg, arms come up overhead into crescent lunge. So check that your back heel is lifted up off the floor, and it's kind of pushing me forward a little bit. Knee is in line with the toe, but I can still see my toenails. Good. And just move up and down a couple times. You can bend your back leg here when we're moving. Good. And on your next inhale, shift your weight forward. I've got to readjust, so I'm in camera view, into warrior 3. So balancing pose, arms extended forward, base leg is active, extended foot in the back is facing the ground, toes toward the ground. Take an inhale. On your exhale, step back gently into crescent lunge. Inhale, lift. Exhale, rotate that back foot so that your heel is on the ground now. The toe opens up to about a 60-degree angle. Warrior 1. Drop a little lower. Hands come around your back in that same shoulder stretch that we practiced earlier. Lifting and opening the chest. On your exhale, bring the chest forward, raise the shoulders. Maybe eventually your way forward here. Inhale, arms sweep overhead, back into warrior 1. On the exhale, opening up to warrior 2. Adjust your feet if needed. We're going for a super straight line from foot to foot, hips open, sinking down to the ground, aiming for a parallel front leg eventually. On your inhale, flip that front hand and rotate to the back, keeping the front leg bent into revolved warrior. Back arm can come around the waist in a bind. On your exhale, shifting back to the front leg, arm comes to the leg to rest. Back arm sweeps overhead. I'll show you what that looks like with the block. You can also put the block behind your foot and hold yourself here. Removing the block, you can come all the way down to the ground, eventually taking a bind. Good. On your inhale, coming back into warrior 2. Arms come up, pushing the weight back into Skandasana. So I'm bent into the back leg now, using my arms to brace. Eventually you can remove the arms and balance here, but this is a pretty intense knee bend, so feel free to brace yourself with your hands. On the inhale, lifting back up, circling the arms overhead, rotating towards the back of the mat. Front arm comes down, back arm lifts into revolved triangle. Hand comes down to the mat. My front foot goes back to meet my back. I'm going to do a flow here down to Chaturanga. And then from up dog, or down dog rather, stepping forward into my forward fold, half lift, forward fold. And on the inhale, back up to standing. And we're gonna do the other leg. So this time, other leg steps back into that crescent lunge, arms overhead. Sinking in, dropping a little lower. Maybe do a couple up downs. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And on this next one, moving in to warrior three. So inhale, slightly, gently drop back into that lunge. You don't want to drop onto your back leg. And on your exhale, placing the back heel on the ground. Check your alignment here. Knee in line with the toe, aiming towards horizontal. Both hips still facing forward. They want to open here. Push them back forward. Nice back, straight leg in the back. Arms come behind you in the shoulder stretch, lifting up. Exhale, leaning forward, humble warrior. Lifting those back arms. That front leg is really holding you up here. It's okay if it shakes. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale into warrior two. Good job. Check your alignment. Nice straight line, front to back. Inhale, leaning back into revolved warrior. Inhale, moving into extended side angle. Front arm rests on the front leg. Back arm sweeps overhead. Use your block. You can take it down to the ground here. You can practice a bind. Full bind. Or you could simply stay in revolved. On your inhale, moving down into Skandasana. I know I'm backwards here, but it gives you a chance to see what it looks like from the other side. Embracing yourself with your hands or bracing yourself with your hands. Arms can be in prayer position. On your inhale, lifting up, circling the arms around to the front of the mat, then they come down to the mat, and that arm sweeps up into revolved triangle. Hope you're feeling the extra stretch on the front, on the side of this front leg. IT band, a little bit in the hip, maybe down to the knee. And again, using that base arm to push away, help you extend the twist. Good. Front arm comes down to the mat, hips shift into runner's lunge. We're gonna flow here. So my front leg goes back to plank, chaturanga on the exhale. Inhale, up dog cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, up to the top of the mat in runner's lunge. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, up to the top of the mat. Exhale, Tadasana. Wonderful job. We're gonna do each side one more time, trying to flow a little bit faster this time. So with every breath, we'll move. All right, so top of the mat. We're gonna do both sides, so it really doesn't matter which leg you start with, okay? So on your inhale, stepping back, arm sweep overhead into crescent. Exhale, warrior one. Inhale, arms stretch back. Exhale, leaning forward. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, rotating to the back. Exhale, revolve triangle. Or sorry, extended side angle. Inhale, down to Skandasana. Exhale, circle around into revolve triangle. Hold it here for an inhale and an exhale. Inhale, both hands to the ground, stepping back to plank. Exhale, take your flow. Chaturanga, up dog. Exhaling to down dog. Coming to the top of your mat. Half lift. Exhale. Inhaling all the way up. Exhale. Nice job. Stepping back into crescent lunge. Other leg. Inhale, arms up. Exhale here into warrior three. Good. Inhaling back into warrior one. Inhale, arms come behind the back. Exhale, leaning forward. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, revolved warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, down to Skandasana. Exhale, lifting up and rotating into revolved triangle. Holding it here for an inhale and an exhale. Inhale into runner's lunge, back to plank. Exhale, flow, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhaling to the top of your mat. And finish the flow here. Inhaling in and exhaling to Tadasana. Wonderful job. Good job with that vinyasa. Okay, we'll do a couple other things here. Let's start by stepping out into a wide lunge here. And we'll go into a forward fold. So we'll put our hands out, kind of an airplane, hinge at the hips. You can even put your hands here to help bring your hips back. You just come down to the ground. Grab both of those ankles. Head goes to the mat. And then bring your hands to the mat here. You might have to bring your feet in. I'd walk them in just a little bit. And we're going to come into yogi squat. So now my feet are facing out, my knees are in line, and I'm in a low yogi squat here. So I'm using my elbows against my knee just to kind of have a little bit of leverage, a little bit of a touch point for balance. My hands are in prayer position, yogi squat. Try to normalize your breath here. You may have lost your rhythm a little bit in that last vinyasa. Good. Put your hands down and go ahead and come towards facing the top of the mat. We're going to practice crow pose and arm balance. So you kind of have to start out in that same yogi squat, but we're warmed up to do that. And your hands are going to come to the mat. So it's really important here to engage with your fingertips. So as I have them on the ground, I'm kind of using my fingertips. I don't know if you can see that through the video, but it helps keep the forearms engaged. And we should also be doing this in our chaturangas as well. So this is a good time to practice. And what we're going to do is this part of my leg, so kind of my knee and my shins, is going to come as close as possible into the armpit and tricep area. I can't promise that it's comfortable, but that's how you balance. And so you're putting those legs into your armpit, tricep, tricep area, and you're going to eventually balance. Maybe today you just lift one leg, maybe you lift both, and this is crow. I'll move back to make sure I'm in camera angle, and you just hold it here. Squeezing in with those arms and legs. Good. Give it one more good try. And if you'd like, you could shoot out to plank. Awesome. Okay. Take a break here, take a breather. Maybe roll out your wrists a little bit. Okay, let's push up into down dog. And from here, I want you to lift one leg into three-legged dog. Three-legged dog is when your hips are still facing down, so your leg may not lift a whole lot. And switch and try the other side. Good. So put that first leg back up in the air again, this time opening up the leg angle. So go ahead and stack the hips. You should get a much more vertical split here. Bend that top leg, kind of like a scorpion, and begin to really open up the front of the hips here, almost like that leg, that foot wants to touch the ground. Because guess what? It is going to touch the ground. You can stay here, but if you'd like, you can flip over. You're going to watch the pressure on this shoulder, but you're going to lift your other hand and flip over into what I call a flip dog. So you're almost in a back bend. You've got all your weight on one hand. This other hand, maybe it stretches if you can stretch it. Maybe it stays right up overhead. And I'm lifting up with those hips. Nice. And you just unwind it by bringing that arm back over, rotating the feet back into that split. Leg comes down. Other side. Lifting first into three-legged dog. Then eventually opening up that hip angle to get a nice split, down dog split. Bending the top leg, scorpion. Maybe look under that arm and see, or over that shoulder, see if you can see your foot waving. That's good. And when you're ready, flipping and bringing that foot down to the mat. Flip dog. Arm stays up or can extend as you get closer and closer to wheel. Lifting with the hips up to the sky. And eventually unwinding, flipping back over into down dog split. Arm comes down, feet come down. Good. We'll do one more kind of pose here, pushing into plank. And you can bring one leg down in the middle. And then use that leg to move over or rotate into side plank. So right now I'm doing a modified side plank because I've got one leg down. But to amp it up a bit, move into full side plank by removing the leg. Both legs are touching. Good. See if you can even raise that top leg. And if you can, hold it close to your belly, rotating into plank. It's still lifted. And I'm going to keep rotating and shoot that leg through the back into wild thing. So my legs are in a V. Again, I'm resting on one arm and I'm pushing those hips up. Good. Arm comes back to the mat. I'm just going to flip back over into plank. So we're going to start out in tabletop and I'm going to do the modified plank. So one leg's on the ground, hips open, one arm comes up to the ceiling. To amp it into plank, you simply put all the weight on that shoulder and both feet are now touching, side plank. Maybe you lift the top leg. You can do here in tree pose, a couple of options. And to do wild thing, you flip over into plank. My leg stays lifted here and it just comes underneath like I'm threading the needle and shoots to the mat. And then once I've got it on the mat, on the mat or the ground, then I lift the hips and extend into wild thing. Very similar to flip dog, we just get to it a different way. Pushing with the shoulder, stretching with the side body. Top arm comes down to the mat, flipping back into plank, and just come down to all knees. Awesome. Okay. We're down on the floor. So let's go ahead and get comfortable here with a couple of seated exercises. So first we'll start with putting our legs out in front of us. Simple pose here. Bring your hands down by your legs. See if you can grab the shins, the ankles, the feet, keeping that back super straight, pulling closer to the mat. I'm going to adjust my sits bones here just to make more space. And on every exhale, come a little bit further, or closer rather, a little closer to the ground, further down. Yeah. This is Paschimottanasana. Good. Inhale, chest comes up, bend those legs, scoot the sits bones closer to the heels and roll onto your back. We're going to do bridge pose. So hands come down by the hips, palms facing down. You're going to use your hands to lift your hips. So on your inhale, you lift your hips, shifting the weight into the shoulders. Maybe you get the shoulders underneath. And your neck and your chin are very close together in a chin tuck. So you don't want to be looking at the video right now. Try to follow my voice because you want to keep your chin tucked straight into your chest. And use those hands and lift your hips. Good. Exhale, come down to the mat. Inhale, bring your knees up to your chest and just kind of roll a little bit. We're going to roll one more time down into Paschimottanasana. See if you get a little bit lower now. Good. Exhaling, coming back up to center. And we're going to roll onto our back, this time into plow pose. So I'll show you plow pose. Same thing, you're not going to want to watch me as you do this, you're going to want to listen. So watch me demonstrate first and then practice. Your chin stays tucked in, that's why you don't want to be sideways with your chin watching the video. Chin stays tucked in, rolling onto the back. I'm going to use my arms to press my hips up, and I'm going to brace my hips with my hands. So watch, here we go. Rolling back. You can roll a little bit to get a little bit of a momentum, catching those hips and then pushing them back. If this is all you can make, that's perfect. Maybe you straighten the legs, maybe they go all the way back. I'm going to show you one more time moving forward to make sure it gets on video. And you can practice here into plow pose. Or right here. Wherever it feels good. Maybe your hands even come back down to the ground if your feet are all the way overhead. Awesome. Come back down, rolling slowly to your back. I'm going to take fish pose, which we do by extending the legs. I'm going to put my hands underneath my sits bones, and I'm kind of sitting up on my shoulder or on my forearms. And then I'm going to open the chest, and I'm going to drop the head back. I'll scoot up so hopefully you can see it. There's not a lot of weight on the head, but it's a very open position for the neck. An alternative to fish pose is maybe just laying on the ground and laying with the feet open in kind of a diamond position. If you're in fish pose, gently lift the head up off the mat as you come back to your forearms. Very nice. So lay back again on your back. We're going to do a hip opening exercise. One leg comes up to the mat. That lifted leg comes down to the knee, crossing. I'm going to take this lifted knee and press it out so that you're really feeling the hip there. Then take both hands and pull the base leg up to the chest by grabbing underneath, threading the needle here, grabbing underneath that leg.
I'm going to use my elbow to press into that knee that's turned out so that I can get a little bit more of a stretch there. Good. You can unwind your feet. We'll do the other side. So other leg lifts. That ankle comes to the base knee, lifting that base leg towards the chest. My elbow pressing out slightly on that twisted, turned knee. So just lay here and rest. Perfect. Feet can come to the ground. Bring up your knees to your chest one final time, maybe rocking from side to side. Front and back, just kind of massage out that lower back a little bit here. And then bring your knees so that they're lifted straight over your hips, kind of in a right angle here. Arms come out to a T. You can drop those knees down to one side for an easy twist. So if your knees drop to the right, you'll look back to the left. So looking away from your feet. Inhaling, bringing the knees back to center, passing through, and they'll drop to the opposite side, and your head faces away from the legs. Good. Knees come back to center, and you're already on the ground, so I'm going to have you open up into Shavasana, corpse pose, which means you're just laying on your back. So you guys lay on your back. I'm going to come to seated position so I can talk you through this here. So you're in your final resting pose, so get comfortable on your back. Definitely encourage you to close your eyes. Your feet probably roll open slightly. Move your sits bones and your shoulders around so that you release any tension on your back. Palms are by the side, probably lifted or open towards to the ceiling. Jaw is soft, eyes are closed and soft. Begin to slow your breath. And we'll stay here for a couple moments of a final meditation and rest and total relaxation. You worked pretty hard today, so I hope that you'll stay just a couple moments more to enjoy these last final moments of rest before you enter your day. And take your toes and your feet and crunch them up super tight, 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 tight. Feel that tension in your toes, and then let it go. And then bring your awareness to your thighs and your legs and contract your thighs. Tight, 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 tight. Maybe your heels even lift on the floor as you hyperextend and tighten those legs. Feel that last tension and then let it go. And now onto your glutes. Squeezing your glutes together, squeeze, feeling that tension, that tightness, and then let it go. And now tighten your hands into fists, tighten them as tight as you can, squeezing, squeezing, and then let it go. And now curl your arms into a bicep curl, squeezing, squeezing your arms together, tightening as much as you can. Feel the tension, and then let it go.
And finally, to your face, squeezing, maybe pursing your lips, squeezing your eyes, making some wrinkles. Wrinkle the face, tight, tight, tight. Feel that tension and let it go. And scan your body. Find any other part of the body that feels tense. Take a deep inhale and exhale, sending your breath to that tense part of your body, asking it to relax. And maybe you notice that your toes feel heavy, falling into the ground. The ankles feel heavy, falling into the ground. The legs are heavy, falling into the ground. The hips are heavy, falling into the ground. The ribs are heavy, falling into the ground. The spine is heavy, falling into the ground. The shoulders are heavy, falling into the ground. The neck is heavy, falling into the ground. The head is heavy, falling into the ground. The body is heavy, falling into the ground. We'll rest here for just one more moment. I'll let you know when it's time to wake up. Bring the awareness back to your body. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your fingers. Maybe take one last stretch with your arms stretching over your head and your toes reaching away in the opposite direction. And as you exhale, roll over to your right side, kind of rolling into a ball, resting your head on your right arm like it's a pillow. And lay there for just one final breath. And then using your left arm to push your body up and join me in seated position. Hands come into prayer position where the thumbs come to the third eye center of the forehead, symbolizing an open mind. Thumbs and hands come to the mouth, symbolizing open communication. Thumbs come to heart center, signifying an open heart. The light and love in me salutes the light and love in each and every one of you. Namaste.